Disclaimer: the following Boundless PodTrap episode contains strong opinions that some listeners may and will find offensive. If you cannot accept or respect others with a differing opinion from yours, then fuck off.
Rolling sound.
I like turtles.
Shush! Alrighty. Let me see your war face.
Now, y'all ain't planning on fucking these chickens, are you?
Picture it. Sicily, 1920.
Aren't we fucking funny?
Streaming from the Midwest, right in the middle of the U.S. From Omaha, Nebraska, you're listening to the Boundless PodTrap, your entertainment podcast where we touch on all topics, from the crazy and absurd to the sacred and profane, and even the useless and unnecessary. The Boundless PodTrap knows no bounds. And now, here are your hosts.
What's up, all you freaks out there? Welcome to the Boundless PodTrap. I am your host for the night, Lonnie. With me, as always, is Mr. Clean and Mr. Sad Bridges.
I don't get that. I really don't.
I don't get why am I Sad Bridges?
Why am I Mr. Clean?
Can't do this thing. Hi, Lonnie.
Don't wave at me like that. Scares my ancestors.
Speaking of ancestors, I did have something I wanted to talk with you in a bit, but keep going.
Keep going.
Good thing this is a podcast.
Right. Everybody who takes part in the LBGT and especially those Qs and pluses, happy Pride Month.
Yeah.
That is this month.
Yeah, it is.
Welcome.
I'm seeing a lot of posts about that this year, like on social media. Not a bad thing or anything.
No,
like,
not at all.
I haven't, like, normally I don't see so many posts about it.
Right.
So
I'm just glad.
Your body language says something else.
I mean, his hands have been pretty active under this table.
Well, it's a glass top table, so that's...
We're back out of the old studio and back in with the old studio.
This studio we're in now has this smell that reminds me of growing up. This thing we used to eat as kids. What is that smell? God, I can't remember. Oh yeah, it's pussy.
Well, that's our episode. That was a quick one.
I miss those days.
There was pussy on this table?
As a kid. What now? Say that again.
Anyway. But
like,
yeah, no.
El Meow?
I think this Pride Month is special because I think a lot of people have gotten more comfortable and have been able to step out and be themselves and be free. And
Step out of what?
Of the shadows, out of the shadow realm, have been able to step out and be free and be proud of themselves and have the support they've needed to be able to step out and be prideful and comfortable saying they're gay, saying they're queer, being trans.
Didn't you almost come out last episode? Felt like you were going to say something.
I almost do a lot.
Know what you do well.
You said doo-doo.
Burn the top of your fucking foot.
Oh my God, it hurts so bad. I am such a weenie.
Yeah.
Who burns their...
And you know what's funny? For the little preamble, I got such bad sunburn on my feet this weekend. I've been to the doctor already, and I have to go back again tomorrow because they think I have nerve damage. And the doctor, when she was talking to me, is like, "It's so weird. Were you wearing pants?" And I had to explain to her that I'm fat enough that my legs were shadowed from my stomach, but my feet weren't.
I'm assuming she was talking about some sort of circulation. Was it squeezing your legs or something? Or do you wear skinny jeans? What do you?
No.
Bonnie in skinny jeans? What the fuck
We're gonna
is
do,
wrong with you?
Have you seen like a hot dog before? That's what my legs would look like in skinny jeans.
Huh. Nice.
Much lumpier.
Curves, and they got the stretchy pants.
Yeah, I missed leg day.
I don't want to see Lonnie in stretchy pants either, so...
He prefers no pants.
To each their own. People would pay him big bucks for his fat feet.
But anyway, they're saying like I could potentially have nerve damage. I could have internal bleeding from a fucking sunburn.
From a sunburn.
Yeah.
From fishing.
From fishing.
From fishing. That's the key thing there.
Yeah.
You injured yourself fishing.
Hey, fuck you. It happens all the time.
What if you have to like
if I
amputate your feet?
Yeah, I'd get one of those fucking handy carts, man.
You can zoom around.
I'd give you an eye patch.
Well, I'd take an eye patch.
Peg leg.
I would get a German accent and one of those wheelie carts and have an eye patch, and I would be the new villain in every single terrible fucking Mission Impossible movie.
You can even smack Mike in one of them.
Yes.
We just got obviously a new soundbite here.
We did.
We've been wanting to use this for 26 episodes ago.
Now we get it for the rest of our lives. That's just going to be our new. Eventually, we'll probably get like a new intro song to the podcast, and all the sound bites are just going to be yes.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
I'm trying to do a remix, but it's not working.
That's because there was a little bit.
Finish it off.
Yes.
I think it's because there was too much of a gap at the beginning before he said yeah.
Possibly. I want that. Yeah. You remember you doing that back in the day with like your toys and stuff? Like the cow goes moo. McDonald. Yeah.
Yes, I know what you're talking.
I used to do 2 of those together and then like have my own little turntable. It's like, OG McDonald had a,
You still do that.
Yeah. I had a speaking spell that I never listened to because I still can't read because I'm mildly retarded.
I forget what the thing was I had, but it was like, it looked like a miniature computer. And when you turn it off, it'd be like, please choose an activity.
Is it like reading Rainbow?
Please. Was it reading Rainbow?
Or not reading Rainbow. Reading Rabbit?
No, it wasn't a rabbit.
Huh.
It was like a small gray
DOS system.
Looked like a desktop.
You can only see
like red font on it.
You can only see the letters or whatever at a certain angle.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tonight, our episode's going to be super interactive between the 3 of us. Usually, we have some interaction, and then one of us is telling a story or doing an article all on his own. But tonight, all 3 of our segments, like we're doing this shit. This is all 3-way tonight.
I totally forgot what yours was.
Oh, I'm putting myself over like a motherfucker.
So we have to know Lonnie or something like that.
Yeah,
so there's no prep work for it.
Zero prep work.
I hope one of the questions is how easily does he burn from the sun?
And that's a misconception. Like a lot of people, we've said it a couple times on the podcast, but what a lot of people don't know is the 3 of us really haven't known each other for very long. Justin and Jeremy, they've known each other for decades. But as for
about a decade, but we've only like hung out for maybe half a decade.
But for me, I've known Justin for about a year, and I've only known Jeremy for a couple. So I think it'll be fun. I'm going to drill him.
It's been 2 years actually to the day, I think, that I met you.
Yeah.
Because I just got a notification about 2 years ago was when we did our
the Fremont show. Yeah.
And that's when I first really kind of met you.
Yeah. You used to always ignore me at Magnum shows because you were a cock.
I was the heel. I was the bad guy.
Don't give me that bullshit. Wrestling's not real.
Ooh. God, we're in for it tonight with all these new sound bites since he figured out something new on the board.
Just new firmware.
New firmware.
Oh, so today I kind of got in an argument with a customer.
You're a mailman. You don't have customers. You have patrons.
I have to.
Aren't you supposed to be like a ninja? You're not supposed to really they're not supposed to see you.
I try to avoid this one.
Are you going up to him being like, "Get paperless, bitch"?
I should, but she probably does not know how to use a computer. So like every single encounter I've had with this lady has been very unpleasant. It's like certain times I'll approach her and be like, "Hey, do you want your mail or whatever? You want me to put it in the box?" And it's just very unpleasant. She's like,
"That's too forward."
But yeah, she just has a way of like turning a easy, simple interaction into just like a downer. It's like, what the fuck?
Sounds like
don't walk on my grass. I'm like, I didn't walk on your grass. I walked on the sidewalk.
Anti-rape line ever. This could be easy, but you turn it into a downer.
But yeah, that and like around Mother's Day just recently, she was like, "You lost my mail." And I'm like, "I lost your mail?" It's like when she likes to turn everything personal.
Was it B. Arthur?
No. But she, I'm like, "I lost your mail?" And she's like, "Yeah, you in the post office." I'm like, "No, if I don't have the mail, I can't deliver it to you. I give you everything that I have for you." And her daughters or whatever probably like misplaced it or sent it a day late because I gave it to her like the next day. And then just recently she's like she came to the post office because of something, and she's like, all the illegal aliens are trying to steal my mail and stuff. I'm like, really? Wow, that's kind of racist because there are like kids who kind of walk up her street to their house, like just 2 to 3 houses away. But so yeah, I was going to her just today, and she's like, "How come every time you come over here, you never pick up the mail. I'm like, what are you talking about? I always pick up your mail. I always look for your stuff that's hanging outside the box. And she's like, no, I saw you yesterday. I'm like, yesterday was my day off. You didn't see me. Why do you always got to make this personal? And before I like turned around and walked away, I just took her little life alert off her sweater and threw it in her grass and walked away. I was like, fuck that. And my mistake was I told Paco about that. So he's like, I got you, foo. And I'm like, no, I'm not telling you to do anything. Because when Paco says, I got you, foo, what does that usually entail?
He's got her food.
He eats her cat, probably.
So we'll see if she's still there tomorrow.
I don't think so. What's her name and address?
Made the mistake of telling Paco that.
We can have people go to check to see if she's okay.
Yeah, send her nice Christmas cards. From hell.
I'm a nice guy. I don't like to.
Do they still have, is Life Alert really still a thing?
Well, she still has one. She was clipped to her little sweater.
Hasn't worked since 1980, but it's still there.
But that's probably the most popular commercial that people quote to this day.
Help, I'm falling and I can't get up. That's the way I fucking feel. I would like crawl on my hands and knees to take a piss. But like in this studio space at Mike's house, I love pissing here because his where his toilet is, there's two really close walls, so I can just lean on it.
Does your shoulders touch both walls?
When you lean, your piss goes another direction too.
Well, I have a
Mike's sick of cleaning up your piss off the wall.
I'm wearing sandals every time I go in after. I'm like, Lonnie.
No, I did not piss on the floor, Mike.
So
it was already there? Is that what you're saying?
That piss was obviously someone else's.
So I have to say this, now that I know the reason. So Monday, Memorial Day, a week ago from when you're listening to this, or when this gets released, I had to go to Lonnie's because I had to do some B-roll from the short film we did back in fall, One More Body. I had to get some blood splatter on boxes. Now, these boxes, we had written on it church donations. It makes sense in the movie. And I gave them to Lonnie, and Lonnie was using them for packing, and I need to go get a few for this B-roll stuff. So I get to Lonnie's, and they have a trailer in their front yard, and I see Lonnie's wife, Tracy, loading stuff in it. She's got like a two-wheeler and all this stuff. And, I go inside, and Lonnie's just sitting on the couch. I'm not kidding, there's 24 Krispy Kreme donuts. He had 24 boxes. And his son is sitting in a chair on the floor, and he's watching TV, and Tracy is just going back and forth, sweating, all this stuff. I literally was in my head thinking, Lonnie, you are a lazy fuck. But then he told me that he had the burns, and he showed me the blisters on his feet and stuff. I'm like, okay, this makes sense. But I seriously was about to lose some respect for you.
This lazy motherfucker.
I know, so eating donuts and watching his wife do all the hard work.
He doesn't even got any ointment on his feet.
Oh, man, they gave me lidocaine, though. And if you've never jerked off with lidocaine before, fucking, you last forever.
Huh.
Fucking tip goes numb as a motherfucker.
It usually does, even without that.
How long are you doing it?
I squeeze.
Well, at least 40 seconds.
Take a break. Oh.
I squeeze.
How fast are you doing?
Oh, it's fucking rug burn.
Isn't that how you get it to happen?
It's purple.
You do it faster. It makes you last longer.
Oh. I think I read that in a book.
Mike's taking notes over there. What do you... What was that? What's our first topic tonight?
Oh, well, we go round robin. Why don't you lead us off?
Okay. So my topic, don't really have a name for it, but basically, when you go to Walmart and you're in the movie section, and sometimes they have that 4-pack of movies, which is they're usually weird. Like 3 of them make sense and the 4th one doesn't. So you get Rush Hour, Rush Hour 2, Rush Hour 3, Little Rascals. They don't make sense. So what I decided to do, we're going to call this probably starter pack. What we do is I told Lonnie and Justin that we're going to each pick, if somebody was new to a genre. So for instance, Justin, I gave him action or kung fu, whatever. Lonnie, I gave horror because I do think that he has more extensive knowledge on it than I do. And I took comedy. So what we're told to do, and it was a tough one. We each are going to pick 4 movies for if somebody was new to that genre and had never seen a comedy movie. I'm picking what I think are going to be the best 4 comedy movies as a starter pack. Lonnie, again, he's doing horror. Justin's doing action kung fu. So, yeah. And I said you could also have like a
runner-ups.
So
this was hard for me.
That's what you guys were saying in our chat.
I got like 20 movies, and then I was like, I can't get rid of any of these. So I just had to like approach it from a different angle.
See, I think this is something that we're going to learn about each other, though, because it's supposed to be hard. And I want to know, like, what you came up with. Like, if these are the 4 that you had to struggle to come up with, then they must be good. I think I know at least 1 or 2 of yours. I'm not going to say, but whatever. Let's start with Justin. Let's start with yours.
All 4 of them? Or?
Yeah, all 4.
Okay.
And kind of explain. And I mean, we'll probably chip in and chime in, even though I probably don't know any of these movies that you're going to say.
Oh, you know all of these. The thing is like I couldn't necessarily pick some of my all-time favorites because I would be biased to that. I had to pick some classics because for what they were.
Absolutely.
And it's like if I'm trying to give somebody like a little 4-pack starter thing just to get into action itself, it's like there are the cheesy ones, like, you know, like Fast and Furious. It's like I don't think they're up there top notch, but I think everybody knows that it's
knock you out.
It's not. So my first one, because most of these do set the tone for action movies that come after it. And I couldn't go too far back. So Terminator 2 was one of the ones that I think really set a pace, fast pace all around. You got some great actors. You got the suspense, you're on the edge of your seat the entire time. Terminator 2 was the first one.
Well, and that's one of the rarities where the sequel
is better than the beginning.
Blew away the original one. And that the people talk more about the sequel than anything.
Yeah, the first one had its qualities, like introduced you to Skynet and what was going on.
Yeah.
I think they had the idea for the second one, but they had so much, I think, foresight into writing the first one that they're like, oh, the first one's going to be okay. But the second one's going to be cool. It's like that.
They really created a world with the second one.
Right.
It's like they had something, but it's kind of like The Other Child. You know, like you had something down, and then once you've written like a full movie, you're like, holy crap, I can do something so much better. A creator watching their own, it's like I can fix everything. I can critique everything now. It's like, yeah.
I think they could have, and like honestly, they probably could have made T2 actually the Terminator, and then had the Sarah Connor origin story as a second movie. But I think then it would have been kind of convoluted. But no, yeah, Terminator 2 knocked out of the park.
Yep.
Great choice.
Even with just Sarah Connor, I mean, that was one of the original, other than Aliens, but one of the original strong female co-lead. I mean, she really led like a chapter of the movie. So,
which was interesting that they changed actresses going into T2.
My second one, another thing, kind of set futuristic-esque, The Matrix. The Matrix was something that really blew away how cinematography can be filmed. The time stops, the switching. It's an introduction to a lot of the Americanized martial arts, because we didn't necessarily have something concrete, or I mean, we did with the cheesy like kung fu and Hollywood origins, but
I think I saw Matrix when it first came out, and I mean, and I didn't hate it, but that is something that I probably need to watch again now that I'm older.
It's like I grew up on, well, like Hackers was one of my favorite movies back in the day. Yeah, with Angelina Jolie, Shaggy, what's his name? Matthew Lillard, that's the guy. And even 10-10 from my favorite movie, The Crow. That movie was awesome. And when I saw The Matrix, I'm like, holy shit, this is Hackers on steroids. Like, this is blowing things out of the water. It's so crisp. The colors are clean. The action is on point. Like, and using a lot of CGI. Yeah, it was amazing. My third one, going over the seas here, this also set the tone for a lot of things that happened afterwards, but it had thick influences to pull from. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, that was an amazing, beautiful, it's pretty much everything. It's a love story. It's a war movie. It has its action. It has its twists and turns here. So you don't necessarily know who to follow. The bad guys are very likable. The good guys are just as likable. It's like you want everybody to win. And then my fourth one would have to be Mortal Kombat. It was a cheese fest for sure.
Are you talking about the one that just came out?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm talking about the original.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't seen the new one. I think I will like it just because, but Mortal Kombat was one of the first game movies that I wouldn't say it's up there with the game, but it's a good companion piece.
It's not as good as the Double Dragon movie, but it's pretty good.
I really like the Double Dragon movie with Mark Dacascos.
So name your four again.
Terminator 2, Matrix, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Mortal Kombat.
I think.
And then-
Crouching.
Go.
What was it?
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Crouching Tighter, Hidden Dragon is a different kind of movie.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's an action movie.
How long
but-
were you thinking of that?
Well, he just said it, but it took me a while to get it out.
When he first said Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, you thought
No,
that you
he's fucked it up the second
you spaced
time.
off everything else after that he said.
He's
because
talking. I space out everything period.
Touche.
I just wait for my turn to talk.
My runner-uppers, some things that I thought were very influential for myself as far as how they did action. So Inception, an amazing piece. I consider that an action movie, even though
Great
it's
cast.
very suspenseful. Dark Knight, I'm not a big fan of Christian Bale, but I really love what they did with the character. It's just Christian Bale when he opens his mouth. It's like that. Why are you? It's like, I can't understand you. Because he's Bruce Wayne. But what they did with it, and I mean, Heath Ledger, like amazing performances all around.
Now, on that, and this is one of those questions that probably can never be answered, but do you think that movie would have been as popular as it was if Heath Ledger was still alive?
I think about that the same with like The Crow, because it's the exact same story. Brandon Lee died making the movie of The Crow. Heath Ledger died making this movie as well.
Now, it's a fantastic film. There's
Yes.
no doubt about it that was by far the best Batman film of the Nolan era.
Right.
But would it be as good if Heath Ledger was still alive?
That gives a whole new factor that's easily, absorbed.
Yeah, but you can't quantify it because he is unfortunately passed
It's just
away.
what he did with the Joker character. It was different,
Right.
and I guess all the Jokers were relatively different here and there, but,
Right.
but you had a character to kind of follow. And
Jared Leto's Joker was different as well, and you see how that turned out.
He's trying to redo it. Didn't he redo it?
I think.
And it was actually pretty decent,
Like they
I want to
cut
say.
a lot of his Joker, which made the parts that Joker were in were dog shit.
It was palatable. I love
No,
the
it wasn't.
tattoos.
It was
and
palatable.
the grill.
It was palatable if you like
best Joker ever.
shit and acid
Best
on
Joker.
your palate.
But yeah, my third, I only picked 3 runner-uppers. My third runner-upper would have been Transporter, the introduction to Jason Statham. So
I need to watch those movies again. I remember liking them a lot when they came out.
The first one, just like the fight scenes and stuff, like this is my introduction to him. And I don't know exactly what all he did before this, but it had some really good.
Same character in every movie he plays,
give or take.
Even when he's fighting a giant shark.
But I mean, just that one kind of inspired me in my acceleration of my own performance as far as a martial artist. It's like just watching that movie, I learned a whole bunch of tricks. I was like, holy crap, I'm gonna go try this, and like the 540 kick and all these little twists and turns, hanging and flipping, but. It was an amazing piece. The precision that he was using, it's kind of like what I don't think Jason Bourne would be what it was if not for like things like The Transporter and The Matrix and like there's so many movies that you can name that are awesome. That what the 4 movies that I picked, and then like some of my runner-uppers.
What do you think of the John Wick movies?
It's The Matrix. It's the same guy. But
are they on your top of your list?
They aren't, but I haven't finished I haven't seen the last one. Dude, I'm so behind with like a lot of these new movies. That the John Wick, I love the character.
Isn't there a 4th one due out soon?
I think they were.
It's already out, isn't it?
A 4th John Wick? No.
Or the
They
third
just
one
released the
came out.
third one.
Third one's been out for almost a couple of years now.
I want to see just a year.
Nah,
Has it been?
It's been recent. I know it's been
a couple
in theaters.
years.
I thought it was
can't remember.
during COVID it was released.
No, it was 2019. I think that it came out.
Whose side are you on?
So I am going to go next.
Okay.
So
13, James.
19.
19. That makes more sense.
told ya. All right. So mine was comedy. Now, unlike you, Justin, I am definitely selfish with. Thank you. Selfish with my picks because that's why I like them so much.
They're all Jim Carrey picks.
Pretty close. Pretty close. 2 of them are.
I was gonna say Batman Returns, so what did I Jim Carrey?
That was, and I think that.
Or no, is that Begins? Returns? Returns is with Jim Carrey, right?
No, that's
forever.
That's
Batman
Batman Forever.
Forever.
Yeah, I personally think out of all the Batmen that
Pattinson.
Keaton?
Michael Keaton was the best Batman,
100%.
and the best Bruce Wayne was Christian Bale.
Yeah, I like
best-
Christian Bale as
Bruce
Wayne.
Wayne, yeah.
Yeah.
But Batman, all day, Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I agree.
The maneuvers, Christian Bale has the style, the defense tactic to that.
But for a man in his 40s, getting older, he's not going to have that defense.
Careful what you say. Michael just snapped up.
He's not fucking Batman.
Well, maybe with dinner and drinks he can. All right.
We're not talking Fat Man. We're talking Batman.
Wow.
I can say that because I outweigh him by about 15 pounds.
God dang. All right, so on to my picks. Again, these are I'm very selfish with these picks because I like them.
I can name 2 of them without even looking at your list.
Well,
The video I sent you earlier of the cartoon, is that on there? Not the cartoon, but the actual.
you'll see.
All right,
You'll
damn
see
it.
when I get
I
there.
want to guess.
Well,
It'll make
let me
feel-
fucking talk and you can hear.
Can you just say
So
yes or no?
I'm going to start with the oldest one on this list, and that was the original National Lampoon's Vacation. Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo. That was, I think, my first memory of a comedy movie that was also kind of raunchy. Because the thing with all the vacation movies is they start out raunchy. Like Vacation was very potty mouth, sexual jokes.
was a censor.
I could tell. European Vacation was a little still on that way or whatever. You see her boobs and stuff again. Christmas Vacation.
Chevy doesn't have
Not so much. It's more family friendly.
Yeah.
And then when you get to Vegas Vacation, it's super family friendly. But no, the original one, it introduced me to kind of like slapsticky type humor too,
Right,
but not the over the top
overt, yeah,
exaggerated stuff. So I think that would be a good starter movie for anybody to watch. Plus, it's Cousin Eddie. I mean, that's your introduction to Cousin Eddie. Now, for my second pick, Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber. I knew it.
It's one of those movies that when I first watched it, I thought it was a good movie. But as I get older and the movie ages, it just becomes a better movie. You think of the things that they did in it, and it's like, that's so ridiculous. It's funny. I mean, there's a guy, the warehouse that my work is at, when I make warehouse runs there, he works for the other business that is at the warehouse all the time. And all we do is quote Dumb and Dumber. And we just laugh hysterically because it's just so stupid.
Well, you have to think how much of that did Daniels and Carey just make up on the spot.
Oh, yeah.
Just by being perfectly comedic geniuses.
Yeah. And that's the thing is it was definitely a lot of it. Like, I think it's kind of like with Unemployed, how I laid the structure down, but then we all kind of added our own thing to it. And then I think it's just one of those things where I know on the film set, it was
chaos,
and they were just like trying all these different things. So Dumb and Dumber is definitely on there. Then they wrecked it with Dumb and Dumberer. That just shows you, like 90s comedy to me is the best. I could have listed so many 90s movies on this list, but I didn't want to be just stuck in the 90s. But 90s, I think, was the era with the best comedies because you could be raunchy, you could get away with things, and people weren't offended.
Yeah.
And Dumb and Dumber
it's not that you can get away with things. It's that you're actually creating art without trying to walk on eggshells these days.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, and that's just it. Like Dumb and Dumber was 94 when it came out. And if you watch that movie and then right after that you watch Dumb and Dumberer, which was like 2016 or whatever when it came out.
Yeah.
You can see the difference in the writing because they were walking on eggshells because they were afraid to offend people. And it was just sad. I wanted to walk out of that movie. If I wasn't with 2 other people, I would have probably walked out. And if I was driving, I would have definitely left them. But
Figured you just staying there making out with them.
yes. The third one is another one you could probably guess. My favorite Jim Carrey movie, The Cable Guy.
Cable guy.
I feel like Cable Guy every time I order a package.
I mean, this movie, Jim Carrey's pretty much his opening line was him calling Matthew Broderick's character a jerk off really loud, and that's what set the tone. This movie was directed by Ben Stiller, written and directed by him. And it makes me sad that Ben Stiller didn't write and direct more because
It's fantastic.
His TV show was amazing. I loved the Ben Stiller's TV show.
But, one thing like with, again, Cable Guy was 96. You could get away with things back then and people didn't get offended, but he had a lisp. Jim Carrey's character had a lisp, and that's what
Not for the whole thing.
Yeah, 99% of it. And that's what made that character so much more funny by just adding something like that. And it's not necessarily making fun of people with lisp. It's, embracing that people have lisp and whatnot. And that's, why I think one of the best written comedy scenes is in Cable Guy, and that's when they play Porno Password. And so if anybody has not seen comedy or even seen the Cable Guy on YouTube, look up the Cable Guy Porno Password scene and you will see the tone of that movie. So the fourth one on my list was very difficult, but I wanted to do something a little bit more newer age, but I don't think new age movies nowadays are funny.
He's going to pick his own movie.
This is, no, I thought about it. This is from like 2006, I think. Step Brothers with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. It's the plot of that. Like me, I like writing simple plots. Like I don't like convoluted, all these twists and turns plots. That's not for me. I like having a simple plot and just what you do with it. And I think that's what this movie is. It was a unique take on, Step Brothers. When you hear somebody say, "Oh, my stepbrother," you think like kids. They're 40-year-old guys that are basically
every single situation was just, it was easy to pun off of it. And this movie alone is probably one of the most quoted.
Absolutely.
Almost everything is just a one-liner.
Yeah.
Like once you start in a circle, like you have to call me Dragon.
Yeah.
It's like it'll just kind of continue. You'll finish the movie.
Do we just become best friends?
Yep. You want to do karate in the garage? Yep.
Oh, and that's the same thing with Dumb and Dumber. It's you take two comic geniuses and basically say go, and they write their movie on the spot.
It's kind of a shame.
There's also Will Ferrell, one of his, probably pretty much at his peak there.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of a shame that Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels in Dumb and Dumber in 94 and Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly in 2006 weren't all together at the set. Because can you imagine if Step Brothers and Dumb and Dumber came out around the same time and then they saw the popularity of them and they did a crossover movie with those four?
Just imagine a night of Saturday Night Live with those four people on it. I mean, repetitive sketches.
You probably could get away with it nowadays. Like, I think all four of them can still act, but it's just the whole PC thing nowadays.
Absolutely, yeah.
So my picks were, again, National Lampoon's Vacation, Dumb and Dumber, The Cable Guy, Step Brothers. Real quick, some of my runner-ups, I'm going to do, I'll just name them here. We won't really need to discuss them. Mighty Python and the Holy Grail, I think is
fantastic movie.
It's a must-see. Oh, fudge. I was thinking of the other one, and I can't think of it now.
You can't podcast anymore.
I know.
Kingpin definitely would be on my list.
I have to put Mafia up there.
Thank you. Airplane. Because that
so
is, it takes a certain person to like that humor. That's just why I didn't put that or Mafia on my list, because I know there's a lot of people that don't get that type of humor and don't understand that type of humor.
Dude.
I mean,
Hot Shots was amazing.
Like, well, let's not go that far. Amazing's a strong word.
And my third runner-up would be Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, yeah. That was an instant cult classic. Yeah. Like, for I guess, comedy. I mean, I guess there are, like, a lot of the Bill Murray stuff were instant cult classics.
Yeah.
But that one that's probably one of the most a movie that I've seen the most.
Well, when I first saw Napoleon Dynamite, I didn't know what to expect with it. And the opening scene on the bus where he ties fishing string to an action figure and throws it out the window and just drags it behind the bus. It's like, what? Why?
That's everything.
Why is this happening? Why am I still watching it?
The evolution of my reaction to that is like, man, this is stupid. This is stupid. This is stupid. This is stupid.
See, like, I watched it when I was young, like when it first came out young, before my comedy evolved. Like I was still in this isn't a fart joke. This isn't an Adam Sandler movie. No one's making funny noises.
It was a clean comedy too.
And I didn't like it. So I've always had this stigma in my brain that this isn't a funny movie. This isn't good as all. But I think if I watched it now, loving like dark, stupid comedy, I think I'd love it.
What I love about that too is like for something that is so mellow-tone, almost every single character is a very strong character. Mm-hmm. It's like, holy crap, like you're Uncle Rico is something, Pip, or
who do you think's funnier, Uncle Rico or Kip?
Kip. Fuck. Kip is definitely funnier. I know Rico improvised a lot, and he was he's a vegetarian. Like every like at the picnic part where he's like eating some stuff, like after every take he's like spitting everything out. Oh my God,
he had to eat so much steak though for that movie. Well, he's just like that character, Uncle Rico, just how narcissistic he is. Like he's always like folding his arms, looking at his muscles in his shirt, and filming himself throwing a football, and then he actually knocks it over. Oh my God, you got to watch that movie. I mean, man, it's so good. All right, Lonnie, let's turn it over to the dark side here.
This was hard. Only having
How
to pick
hard was
4
it?
movies was hard, but I kind of have an advantage you guys didn't have. Horror has so many tropes, so you could pick based off tropes is what I ended up doing. But then getting into tropes, it's like, okay, do you go with what's best in the trope, or do you go with what started the trope? And then my foolproof method of picking the trope turned into a fucking firestorm of, oh, now I got to go all through the trope. So I ended up just trying to focus on it. So
say trope one more time, motherfucker.
Trope.
Yes.
Every time you play that, I look over. And I'm like,
So
the person with that voice is right here with us. He's just not. He's not mic'd up.
yeah, well, he is mic'd up.
He's
but he
all
just
the
doesn't
mic
have a
he needs.
microphone. First movie, the oldest movie on this list, I picked Night of the Living Dead for 2 particular reasons. One, it was really the first true allegory that was easy to understand. There were other ones that were out there, but it was the first movie that really showed humans as the monster, opposed to the monster being the monster. But as a getting into film, it's a great monster movie. So if like you look at traditional monsters, you can think Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dracula. But you can look at a zombie and go, fuck, I don't know what zombies are, but that's a zombie. Like, you would know that.
so would you also throw in the 1990 Tom Savini version, since it's basically shot for shot?
I think you'd have to go with the original. I think just that black and white, that acting just is something so pure and so beautiful about it. So, yeah, the first one, talking about monsters and just an easy path into watching a movie about a thing that's not what you think it's about, it would have to be Night of the Living Dead. My second one, I tried to find a movie that was super suspenseful and then also had another thing. So I went through found footage movies that were super suspenseful, and I landed on the Blair Witch Project.
Yes.
It came out when movies were still, like, movie like that, it was real. Like, there was no internet.
Yes.
You didn't know that it was a fake movie. Like, until they came out on the news and said it was a movie, that was fucking realist shit on the block.
I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Absolutely, so did I. I was scared to sleep because I thought it was real. I seen that dude standing in the corner every time I shut my eyes.
Well, and I mean, it's one of those movies still to this day where, like, people still, they always do that one shot how Heather had the camera like really close to her face. People always try to duplicate that.
Right. And that, opposed to other found footage movies that came after it, that one gave a reason to have a camera. Like, that's a flaw that a lot of found footage movies have, is why are you recording? What is making you record right now? That had a plot and a reason to be recording, so it didn't feel forced.
Yeah, it's not like all the found footage ones where it's like, is that thing on? No, the red light means it's on. Like, I hate that.
Right.
It's just, it's always the perverted guy filming his girlfriend or wife or whatever.
Oh, yeah. And every shot kind of crescendoed at the end of the day. Like, it was, something was happening and then they would straight stop. So it made it feel real. It was like, shit's getting too intense, we're done.
Well, I got to the point when I watched it in theaters when it came out, I didn't want them to turn the camera on. Like, when they would turn it on, it's like every night something worse was happening.
Right.
And it would always start with the camera turning on. It was dark. You could hear them, but you couldn't see it. I'm like, fuck, I don't want them to turn it on. I'm
Put the movie back in the freezer.
That tent scene where it starts like shaking.
Right.
That scarred me from like for a while after that. Anytime I'd go camping, I was afraid to sleep because I was just like, any noise I'm heard, I'm like, fuck, the next thing, the tent's going to start shaking. And
right. And there's, I think it's episode 3. I can't remember what episode it was, but I made a defense about this movie way deep down the rabbit hole where I pitched that the 2 guys were actually luring Heather out in the field to kill her, and it was all another plot. So you can pick your own subplots out of this movie.
To choose your own.
So
yeah, we did that. That was fun. I like that.
Yeah. So this movie, awesome suspense movie because it gets worse every day without overdoing it. And to me, it was the first good found footage movie, if not the first real found footage movie in horror. A third category was hard. And I picked one from the slasher genre. Because you can't have horror without throwing a good slasher movie in there.
Better be from the 80s.
Pick the best
from
one.
the 70s, actually.
Close enough.
The slasher movies, to me, need to rely on the 3 B's. Big scary knives, boobs, and blood.
All right.
So that instantly counts out my favorite slasher movie, which is Nightmare on Elm Street, simply because the kill count is too low. Only 3 people die in it. So that counts out my favorite movie right off the bat. Unfortunately, it counts out Jeremy's favorite horror movie as well with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a good kill count. I think it's a little too dark for someone new coming into horror. It doesn't have any catching features. There's nothing that would draw people back with such a dark movie. And there's not a lot of blood in it.
That's what I was gonna say. It's not.
It's a relatively clean movie.
It's a good starter movie. Get your feet wet.
Get your feet wet. Friday the 13th, another great franchise. But who's going to want to sit through? Who's going to go, wow, is there a second one? When the main antagonist is killed in the first movie. Like, there's nothing about that movie goes, oh, wow, I wonder what the second one's like. Or the next 10. So, as you guys pointed at my shirt, the slasher movie I chose is a 1978 classic Halloween.
Nice.
It had a likable monster with Michael Myers. It had a simple plot. Like, Madman comes back to his hometown to kill a bunch of teenagers who are having sex and being crazy on Halloween. It's not an over-exaggerated plot. It's easy.
He's just trying to kill his family, but all these sexy kids are getting in the way.
Damn sexy naked kids are getting in the way.
And they're sexy.
And the gore effects were great. I just think it's the perfect starter slasher movie. There's enough humor in it, too, that you can kind of be like, oh, slasher movies are fun. And then you get into the slashers like Freddy Krueger or Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 or April Fool's Day or My Bloody Valentine, that are actually funny.
Yeah. Another thing about Halloween that's great, the original is the score to it.
Absolutely.
If you don't listen to, and I'm not talking about just the like all the other scores that they did. If you don't listen to that and it doesn't get you in a horror Halloween mood, there's something wrong with it.
Right, yeah. And John Carpenter, the director of the movie, did the score as well. So everything about that movie came out of that man's brain.
Amazing. Probably my favorite slasher.
Yeah. Number 4.
Before you go to number 4,
yeah,
do your best Donald Pleasance, Dr. Loomis impression.
6 times. 6 times.
He's crazy.
What the?
Why does it always go?
Why does he sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I was thinking.
Crazy. He's not going to die.
Bill Cosby.
We got to get some Bill Cosby.
He's crazy. He's coming back to where he was.
Him 6 times.
How many times? 6 times.
He's escaped.
And number 4, I wanted that perfect haunted house / ghost movie. There's so many good ones. Could have went with Amityville Horror, but actually Amityville Horror, if you watch it, is kind of boring.
Depends on who does.
Yeah, the Ryan Reynolds one, at least you get a little beauty.
Documentary out on it now where they talk to like people that were involved with like.
Yeah, it's all fucking fake. Sorry. Fuck you, Warrens. I love you. Don't hate me. We're in a toxic relationship, me and the Warrens. So for haunted house / ghost movie, I picked Poltergeist.
Okay.
For multiple reasons. One, it was suspenseful and it was a great movie. Was it Judd T. Nelson?
Craig T. Nelson.
Craig T. Nelson, yeah. Was the perfect father figure for that. But the greatest thing about that movie, it was a PG movie.
Yeah. It's one of the few that I can play at my work, horror movies.
Right. And that's what a lot of people don't realize is horror can be scary without having to be gory or over the top.
I mean, the goriest scene is in the guy when he's looking at himself in the mirror and starts...
And his face melts.
And it's so hokey, but it's a practical effect, and that's why I love it.
Right.
Well, 2 things came from that movie that people, again, to this day say, they're here, and... This house is clear.
This house is clean.
You can do women impressions very good, but men, no.
No men.
It didn't sound anything like Bill Cosby.
Well, and that movie too, I think made them scared of something different now. Like,
right.
your house is haunted. I mean, how many people do you think were probably checking to make sure that there was no clown in their closet or under their bed? And
it made you scared of real things.
Yeah.
And the whole premise of that movie is moving the headstones of a graveyard, but not moving the bodies. Yeah. And one of the legends of that movie set was that they were using actual skeletons, and there was serial killers who were working on set.
Well, that whole movie production was cursed.
Oh, from the beginning. Unfortunately, the actress who played Carol Ann passed away in the filming of the third movie, and a lot of the crew fell ill. It was just, for what it was fantastic.
But that's a good movie. Yeah, I like that.
So those are my 4 starter pack you could buy from Walmart.
Yeah, a lot of those are staples in the horror genre. Pretty much what I guess we all picked were like staples in what genre they were.
Right.
It's like they really set the stage for a lot of things that came after. Especially like the found footage. That was like the first found footage.
Right. And they did it so well. And it's what made me fall in love with the found footage genre was that movie. And I've seen so many fucking terrible ones thanks to that movie.
Well, and unfortunately, I think found footage movies is a cop-out for filmmakers. It's a cheap way to make a movie.
It is, but it's also tapping on a sense that you don't, like you feel like you're more there. Like you're the one behind the camera because you're watching a screen.
But it also, like, those found footage movies, what I don't like about them is they're so shaky. They, give people motion sickness, and
that adds to the fright, the scare.
Right.
It's kind of annoying. I don't get me wrong.
Like, I
would love to someday do a found footage movie, but I want to do it right. I don't want to do it in a cheap way. I want it to be a unique plot, and I want unique things to happen. Like Paranormal Activity, the first one that came out.
That one creeped me out in theater.
It was done well.
Yeah.
And it was also the thing of like, I think crowdfunding that really put crowdfunding on the map because.
Yeah, I think that movie only cost like $13,000 or something like that.
It was like $80,000.
No, it was much cheaper.
Probably what they got.
And then they grossed like billions of dollars, and like the end credits to that movie are so long because everybody that crowdfunded it, even if it was like $1, got their name in the credits, and like the credits themselves, I think are like over 10 minutes long because of all the people. But then they went on with Paranormal Activity 2, 3, 4, all that stuff, and it's like, yeah, well. You took a good thing, and now you've.
I didn't mind the second one since it went along with the first one, but
yeah, the second one wasn't bad. But then after that, it was like, okay, you're doing this out of greed now.
I kind of liked the third one a little bit when they went back in time, where actually they started paying attention to their
childhood.
Yeah, like the origin story a little bit more of why things were and where Heather was a child. And my couple I have for honorable mentions. For the people who don't want to go back and watch older movies, focus on newer movies, I really liked, and it sounds super cheesy, I really liked Escape Room. I thought that was a good modern movie for people to get into horror movies. Kind of cheesy, kind of hokey.
I've never seen that one, which is weird because I manage escape rooms.
It's a fun, it's like if Saw met the movie Cube. It's just...
What would you put Cube in?
Suspense, probably.
Or I was thinking of The Cell.
Second one, it should have been on my list, but I honestly didn't know where to put it. The Babadook.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic movie. Absolutely love it.
Seeing the Babadook made me think that they can do, what's the long dude with the... Slender Man.
That movie was garbage. Yep. That movie would have been an okay movie if it wasn't called Slender Man. Like if it was just a suspenseful movie.
I don't think I've seen it because they have like 8 of them and it's all like...
I'll give you the one. I have a copy of it.
I don't think I've seen the actual one that was really theater release, whatever.
Are those your honorable?
Well, I got one more, and the other one I had was I think Open Sea, or
so you don't have
the
it?
People Lost at Sea. I think it's Open Sea, where the two people, the divers who had to float in the ocean. I couldn't remember its name, so I didn't use this found footage movie about the two people.
Deep Blue Sea?
No,
it's not the surfing one.
Open Water, maybe.
I think that's
probably it.
Open Water, yeah. Just the uneasy feeling of being lost in the ocean.
Yeah, just seaside films definitely has an effect on a mass audience.
Yeah,
like just having no land.
2 movies that I would put on like maybe your honorable mention list, like my honorable mention for horror would be the first horror movie that really kind of is creepy, Nosferatu.
Great movie, yeah.
I think for a silent film, that was probably one of the creepier films because of the way his eyes in that movie and just the way they used the shadows and the lighting and whatnot. But another one that I thought was a very interesting concept and I thought was done very well, and I think it's kind of underrated for what it was, the Belko Experiment.
Yeah, that was a good movie, yeah.
I mean, basically it's in a bit like for local people, like it's like a Woodman Tower type business like that, where there's multiple levels and they get locked in and basically
isn't that Adrian Brody?
I don't know the actor's name, but he was the dad in the remake of Last House on the Left. He played the guy in the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze, his best friend that turned out to be the bad guy. I don't know what his name is, but he's actually a really good actor and he doesn't age either.
Oh, John Gallagher?
Yes.
Jr.? Cool.
But that it's a very interesting, it's one of those movies that makes you think. Like, I like movies that make me think like, oh my God, like if I was in that situation, what the fuck would I do?
Right. And the movie I really wanted to put on the list, but I couldn't even put it as an honorable mention. Unfortunately, it wouldn't be something I would give to somebody new in horror. It would definitely be one of those seasoned people who haven't seen it. Is Pet Sematary. Not the remake, that dog shit movie, but the original one. I think it's just a pure, perfect horror movie for so many different reasons. Like, it was the scariest horror movie to me. Like, if someone said, watch this movie, it's the scariest movie, I would believe them. And then I had a child and I watch it and it's so good for different reasons now.
I think it was scarier for me as a kid. Like, watching it now, I do see a lot of the cheese fest in there.
Well, yeah, of course.
Well, that's one of the Pet Sematary is one of the few horror movies out there that takes me back to my childhood. Like, I remember every year for Halloween, we'd carve pumpkins and we'd have like a horror movie playing. And I remember Pet Sematary was one of those. And so it takes me back to a simpler time.
We got to mess our kids up with these awesome movies, these awesome horror movies now, because they're not going to get the same effect when they go back and
right. I make Mox watch horror movies with me all the time. And he just giggles them off. He watches them. He likes the monsters. But if you spray Pam in a pan, he freaks out. So
are you saying pan or pan?
Both, in fact.
Well, so
those are our starter packs. So for those of you that are
action, then Jeremy's comedy and Lonnie's. Never mind. All right.
And Mike's next with his starter pack of pornos.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so if you have not, I'm sure you have seen I'm sure you have seen a movie of every genre. But take our advice. Watch the 4 movies that we each picked for our thing and get back to us and let us know what you think. And let's try to get more interactive. If you're listening to this, go to our Facebook page and you tell us your favorite starter pack. And it could be any movie. Any movie, let us know. We might even actually do a review on it on another BPT movie review podcast.
Thumbs down it. I'm going to thumbs down it if you comment.
Give me your 4 favorite Adam Sandler movies. And if Happy Gilmore's not on it, you're wrong.
That'd be first.
Click.
Have to be.
Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, Uncut Gems.
Oh, fucking-lutely.
And
click.
I would either say, I'd say The Wedding Singer.
Wedding Singer's great, yeah.
And then runner-up would be 50 First Dates.
Yeah.
And the best part about that movie is Sean Astin with his list. Like, is this the guy, Dad? And the best scene in that movie is when they're driving and Lucy's like, she's like, so what else happened, Doug? Did you win Mr. Universe contest? And he's like, I didn't know there was going to be a urine test or whatever. Because he's big into steroids. So.
Right. Speaking of Jews, all right, I wanted to ask you a question.
L'chaim.
Like, what breed of Jew are you?
Jewish.
Like, what's the
one that sits on the couch and eats Krispy Kreme donuts?
Well, he lets the missus.
I told her she could take the day off since I wasn't working. She didn't have to work.
Oh man.
But she said, fuck you, we're moving in
how nice of you
15 days. And she said, I'm working. I said, okay.
I'm surprised that hasn't changed to sooner.
There was like this.
It was supposed to be the 4th, and then they told us the 15th. I was grateful.
There was this prophecy that I received, and I think it's Jewish. I think it's a Hebrew.
Here we go.
And I wanted to know if you can translate this.
Let's hear it.
So, all right, I'm just going to do it like word by word here. So,
Shamalama ding dong.
My Hebrew is really off. I know there's a lot of like coughing and stuff. So, Chelil, Finlemi. Does that sound like anything?
You gotta get in the back of your throat.
Chelil Finlemi. Lichaken, Dokosma, Maum Shur Hathan. I can't do the so Ilnalagashlaron. Does that sound like anything?
No, your pronunciation is terrible.
I'm going to try to read this all together.
Let me see it. I'll just read it for you.
Say, hey, lil thin lil me lichiken do cause my mama sure had to hand. I know she go.
Mama say knock you out.
All right, let me try it again.
Here, hold on. Let me.
Oh my God.
Hey, lil. I'm going to do it without the Hebrew. So it just reads like.
Hold on, I might have Hebrew in my phone.
Hey, lil thin.
Here.
Hey, little thin, let me light your candle, cause mama sure had to hand.
This doesn't sound Jewish. It sounds like freaking ISIS, Islamic.
Here, type in what you want it to say.
I'm just gonna. Hey, little thing, light your candle, cause mama, I'm sure had to hand.
I knew this was gonna be something retarded.
What? It's Jewish, right? It's Hebrew, huh?
Close enough. Yeah.
Right. It sounds like a Spin Doctor song. Hey, little thing, let me light your candle, cause I'm a sure. I mean, never mind. All right.
That was the bathroom break portion of the podcast.
Thanks for coming back.
And for that, Justin, what's your topic this week?
I wanted to know who raised you guys. That's it.
Michael.
Well, it depends on what magazine I'm reading.
So, all right, I compiled a list.
That was stupid after the bullshit we just had to listen to.
Oh, we expect it from him.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, shit.
So I wanted to compile a list of TV shows of kind of what had like a mass effect on your guys' upbringing. I wanted to know who raised you guys. What TV shows did you watch when you were younger that really ingrained who you are today? So a few things, like I think a lot of us is probably going to share some of the same things.
I don't think we will.
No?
I don't feel like anything on my list is anything on your guys' list.
I probably wrote down like 15 things here.
I got 5, 6, 7.
7?
I didn't have a TV growing up, so I didn't really get into watching TV till my mid-20s. So mine are like more nostalgia choices than people who raised me.
Right. I mean, that kind of works. I mean, there's certain characters that I think a lot of people grow attached to. It's like, wow, right. I kind of see semblance of who I am or who I want to portray as a person.
Right. Like I went back and watched all the shows when I was already an adult and made my dumb choices. So, I mean, I watched TV at friends' houses and at my grandparents' house. But as for like my main domicile residence, we didn't have a TV.
I'm laughing just because I'm watching Michael and it's like he's watching a tennis match. Like just when you guys talk, he goes, his head moves with it. So, okay.
It's cute. It's cute.
So are we going to go like,
I don't know. We'll just go around
one at a time,
one or two at a time, depending on how you want to do. So one of my first picks, I think probably my favorite show. And I think it's just mostly because of nostalgia. I am biased on a lot of this stuff. I think who I am today, I don't think I would be without the TV show Friends. It's like I caught that when I was in like middle school, high school, and that really was the area that I was kind of coming out of my shell and coming into my own.
I love Friends.
Napkins.
There's so many people, like, to me, people treat Friends like Nickelback. It's the cool thing to hate Friends. No, it's not. Friends, if you say Friends is not a funny show, you do not have a sense of humor. I will agree maybe the first couple seasons, maybe even the third season weren't the greatest, but once that show hit its stride,
it's like it was on point. It's
perfect. The characters developed. Yeah. They played off of each other well. So anybody that does not like Friends, you are not my friend.
That's kind of what I like. And The Office isn't something I grew up with, so that's something that I've just grown to like. So it's not on my list, but it's relatively similar to that. It's like once you got to a gist of what the characters are, it just flows. You're like, oh my God. That's just amazing.
That's why I try not to judge a show after the first season. Some shows are just really bad, and it's just like I there's no way this is getting better.
Right. But so the characters and their loyalty to their friends, the humor itself, I think I adapted a lot of that.
I mean, there's a lot of everyday things that you encounter that they encounter in that and stuff with your friends. So
right.
There's fights. There's friends that like each other. Like they maybe didn't like each other at first, but Justin.
Well, it's one of those shows too that tried to be emulated so many times that no one could get the formula correct.
Yeah. And then I still haven't watched the reunion that just came out. I haven't either. I watched some of the interviews, and I was shocked to hear that David Schwimmer and Jennifer Aniston, who played Ross and Rachel, actually had a crush on each other.
Well, look at them.
They were they just were at that point where it's just like they wanted to date each other, but when he wanted to date her, she was seeing somebody. When she broke up, he was dating somebody else. So it's like,
I mean, they were professional with it, but
well, she was dating Brad Pitt when it first started, or married to him. So it's
when you're
like,
David Schwimmer and you know she's dating Brad Pitt, so it's like,
yeah,
Well, she was hot. He had all that she-me money, so.
What about you, Lonnie?
So my first pick was the Red Green Show.
Oh yeah, that was actually going to be one of my picks.
Yeah, I love that. Just that good old. You don't know the Red
I
Green
don't know
Show?
the Red Green
wow.
Show.
Okay. Just a good Northern Minnesota / Canada show.
That's why.
Basically, it was almost like a parody of a sitcom. They just get themselves
I'll have
in
to
the
look that up.
yeah, they get themselves into crazy situations, and then they all do monologues or.
The Red Green
But
Show.
very Wisconsin, Minnesota, Canada, North Dakota.
I spent
North Dakota.
probably a full summer watching that and a few other things. Primarily that one, but
And the PBS.
Interesting. I don't know anything about this.
it came on around the same time one of my picks did come on, which was Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean was awesome.
Yeah.
Red Green and Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean. Definitely like that show. I like the movies too that they came out with that too.
It's like you don't need to necessarily. It's just the physical expression because he barely used any words. There's a few all, but that was about it.
I think one of my favorite ones in the movie is when he's like in a convertible and he pulls up next to guys on bikes and he waves at them and they flip him off. So then he's just like flipping everybody off like nuns and stuff like that.
And it wasn't like a firm flip off. He had like the floppy wrists.
See, and that's actually a good point that they made you laugh without dialogue.
Right.
It was
very
all,
Charlie Chaplin, like
Yeah.
Interesting. I like that.
And I think I kind of infused a lot of that with my own acting because I think it's your action that kind of says a lot more than, well, at least for the way that I act, my action says more than my words.
Nice.
My first pick is a TV show called Saved by the Bell.
Zach Morris is trash.
That was because I was in school at the time. It actually, when I was really into it, was before I went to junior high. Junior high is when you got the locker and you had different classes.
And then you got put in the locker.
Yeah. But it was one of those shows that you could relate to.
Sorry for that.
And it was like thing too. It's like, which character are you? Well, I wasn't AC Slater because I wasn't a jock. I wasn't really Zach Morris because I wasn't like a troublemaker. I guess if I had to go with one of the guys, I was Screech, even though I really wasn't a nerd. But yeah. And then also Kelly Kapowski was my first true TV crush. Like it made me start to think as a guy, like, wow, girls are really not as disgusting and have cooties as they think if they grow up to look like that. Wow. So I did not like the first season of Saved by the Bell when they were like in junior high and it was a completely different cast. I mean, Zach Morris was there, and Screech, but nobody else was.
Yeah, what was Jesse was the kid's name? Or
So I think so.
yeah, and then they just replaced him with a female Jesse.
Yeah.
And like no one noticed.
Well, and it's just like Mr. Belding was there too, but they had that teacher lady and I didn't really care for her. She had like an accent, but it was once they got to high school, those were the episodes I liked. And then they did the college years, which was garbage.
Some of it was okay. Like that 1 or 2, maybe 3 episodes of the college years that were fun. But Saved by the Bell, the high school years, like the 1 or 2 seasons that Kelly was gone, they had that other girl.
Yeah. Tori.
Yeah, Tori. And then she randomly was gone all of a sudden. And
She
Kelly
was like
was
a
back.
biker chick. Like,
Yeah.
she was like a butch and whatnot. But
Kelly
I
really
mean,
took the stage.
I watch some of those shows nowadays and it's like, God, obviously it was hokey as
Oh, yeah,
shit,
for sure.
But still like it.
I put Saved by the Bell up there with like Doug because I mean, like you get these little lessons to learn, or even how to socially manipulate your friends. And
The thing I always wanted was that 80s cell phone that looked like a payphone that up to his ear.
I'm sure hipsters are going to come out with a version of it soon that they can like fucking clip their iPhone into it.
I had about 10 years ago, there was this thing that auxiliary cable that plugged into your phone and it was the big
cordless
Yeah.
or the big house phones.
nice. A few of my darker humor things, obviously South Park, Family Guy, Beavis and Butthead, like that whole genre, and also just pushing the envelope, saying like, hey, you can actually cover these little topics here. And I mean, Beavis and Butthead didn't go too far, but Family Guy definitely pressed on
They
some
pushed
things.
it, yeah.
Yeah. And I was probably like, 12 when they finally hit Fox. And
Family Guy is definitely one of the raunchiest cartoons that I've watched. I know there's probably more out there that came after, but
Right.
My dad's two favorite shows on earth are Family Guy and Jeopardy. He's like, no company.
Peanut
Jeopardy's
loves Jeopardy.
on.
I hate Jeopardy. I think that's the boringest game show there is.
But Peanut loves Jeopardy.
Oh.
On the opposite note,
Are you just doing your whole list?
Bob Ross and Bill Nye. Those were
Bill Nye, the
Chill.
science guy.
Bill. I used to watch the shit. Like, when we got TV and I realized that you could stream seasons of Bob Ross, I had fucking just gorged myself with Bob Ross.
for my oldest daughter. That was like one of the only things that put her to sleep.
Bob
I'm like,
Ross.
Thank you. Let's put on Bob Ross.
Like,
And that when we go to
him
the places like the bookstore, she's like, "Mom, Bob Ross."
That's why
Bob
she
Ross.
hates me, because I have an afro.
It's when he fucking would slap that brush on the leg. I'd
Smack the devil out of it.
fuck yeah, get it.
Funny thing is, at my work, there's a guy that does every couple months, he does a Bob Ross painting class. That shit sells out. Like, he has so many people that people are, they get pissed when they show up and it's sold out. Like, I cannot believe the impact Bob Ross has had on people. I'm going to go down on my list, the second one.
Oh, you're just gonna skip me? That's cool.
Well, you guys have like both like named like 50.
I've named one.
You've named more than one.
You already named
one.
mine, so you stole mine.
Justin's like going down his list.
Yeah, he just did like 12.
Are you girls gonna fight or what's up?
Go, name yours. Go
Okay.
at it.
The game show on Nickelodeon, Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Fantastic show.
That
yeah.
that what got me into
Building things.
like being creative with like setting up obstacle courses at my house for me and my friends, like inside and outside. And and then the best part about that show is the end, when they had the medallions. Like, you got like a half a medallion if you won the games and stuff. But yeah, I love that show. I was behind the Purple Parrots, and they never won. The Purple Parrots were always like the nerdiest boy and the scrawniest girl.
Blue Barracudas are busted.
But that definitely was a top favorite game show.
My favorite, I'll do two real quick just because get that out of the way. I would go over to my buddy's house and we would binge, because Nickelodeon would have like 3 episodes at a time of Are You Afraid of the Dark? That was a good horror fix. When
I think just the anthology of creating small short stories,
Right,
just
yeah.
to throw out, kind of like along with Goosebumps and stuff. To that, the creative experience as writers, it's like wow, like you're pulling from, and some of them are mythology, and I think it kind of opens you up to certain things like that too.
And in that like micro format, like even quicker than the anthology,
Right.
it's like, how quickly can you scare someone? A show I really got into when I started watching TV was The Mighty Boosh. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
You seen The Mighty Boosh?
You're naming off all these things I've never heard of.
Yeah. Very big fan of Noel Felding. He is one of the goth detectives with Russell Brand.
Russell Brand's on the show?
No, he's not.
Oh, I was going to say, I would not watch it.
No,
He's
it's
annoying to me.
it's just a fantastic, surreal, crazy show.
And what's it called again?
The Mighty Boosh.
The Mighty Boosh.
Yeah.
Booshka.
I want to say around 2002 to 2006 or 7 when it was on.
I was thinking something much older than that, like 90s. Interesting.
Yeah, it had 3 seasons, I think.
their stage productions were amazing. Like they used to do like traveling.
Have you ever heard anyone ever quote Old Greg?
No.
Okay, never mind then.
Just young Greg.
Just young Greg.
Greg Young Chevrolet. Now, one that probably has the biggest impact on my life, not so much anymore nowadays, WWF, WWE wrestling.
I thought you were going to go there, especially with the medallions and.
Well, it's just, my dad is what got me into wrestling. I mean, I remember some of my earliest memories were watching that. And if it wasn't for WWE wrestling,
you would have went pro.
My friends in junior high and high school, who knows if we would have met. That's what bonded us all. And, we not only watched it weekly, we went to live events when they came here. We backyard wrestled in like 3 of our backyards and had all these different characters. Shit, I owned a wrestling promotion for a little while here, but I don't watch it so much nowadays because it's just watered down and catered to little kids and stupid. But it's definitely something that influenced a lot in my life, professional wrestling. I mean, Lonnie, you and I wouldn't have even met if it wasn't for professional wrestling.
Yeah.
So that was one of my bigger ones. That's what she said.
Wait.
Justin, go ahead and do 30.
So this, I wasn't a big fan of like Star Trek. I didn't. My dad was
Shocker.
my dad was huge into it, but I watched it, and I guess there's a lot of like lessons that I did learn, and it kind of opened me up to like questioning things. Star Trek, X-Files, a lot of those things. Even like the X-Men animated series, it kind of falls into that
series
because it's an amazing. It's probably one of the better ones that they did. It's just being more of a skeptic, I guess. It's like knowing that there's other things, and it's kind of also with like Saved by the Bell or even Friends. It's like you don't have to be afraid of the unknown. You can kind of journey out and explore and find out what is actually real.
Yeah, good pick. Series I didn't get into till later. I watched one episode and then I proceeded to watch the other 8 seasons in like a weekend. But Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, I never gotten into that show.
Loved it.
I did like the movie. Chrissy Swanson was one of my
Pee Wee Herman was the best vampire of all time.
I totally forgot.
Yeah.
Pee Wee Herman's a vampire?
Pee Wee Herman is the best vampire.
Portraying Pee Wee Herman? Or
no, just the character himself.
Okay.
He's got his death scene is the best death outside of the Lost Boys in vampire history.
Interesting.
Seriously, in the movie, the Buffy, where we're not talking about movies, but he's like going across the doorway. It's like, right?
And he falls to the floor and he's just kicking the door frame. And he looks at her and makes sure she's still paying attention. He's like, and then he just stops and falls over dead. Fantastic. But the Buffy show, first season was kind of slow, had a lot of character development. Then as it went on, it got better and better. And then there's 2 episodes that if you talk to anyone who likes Buffy, you go, I have 2 favorite episodes. And they go, me too. And you're like, what are those? First one is Hush. Second one is Once More with Feeling. Like anybody who likes Buffy, automatically those are your 2 favorite episodes. They're fantastic.
Isn't Once More with Feeling a 2-parter?
No, Once More with Feeling is the musical episode.
Never mind.
And there's how many seasons of that show?
8 or 9.
All of them?
Jesus.
Every single one.
Another show that I like, and this is I'm probably the only one that watched. I'm sure Michael watched this, but this actually opened up my eyes to, at a young age, of the talents that real people have, and that would be the show Star Search with Ed McMahon. We watched that every Sunday morning at my house, and it was also that first time where it's like I could actually see like they left it in the hands of like the audience and stuff too, voting and the different stars and whatnot. But yeah, it was just it's basically what America's Got Talent today is, except back in the 80s and 90s when they didn't have like a huge budget. So that is...
Full House and Fresh Prince were 2 of my favorite ones because they really touched on like the more sensitive values.
Right.
And
which is weird to say about Fresh Prince, like because of like majority of the shows were him, like he was obsessed with women and it was kind of sexualized women and stuff, but they actually had a lot of value and like taught you things in that show.
Yeah. Also, I guess Home Improvement, that kind of taught me about like, being a kid, I learned like a lot of like marital lessons from that, but I didn't think I retained it.
Well, and the thing with that show, it's like, how white do you want to be? Like that show really made you feel white.
Going off of that, because they did like some Home Improvement outtakes or puns on with like Mad TV. I loved Mad TV. I loved all that. It's like, especially like all that. Because it made me think that, like, I can do this. These are just kids doing this. So now, I mean, I could probably do something like this.
The only one of those kids who actually made something out of themselves was Keenan Thompson.
Kel also,
Kel didn't make shit up for himself.
Everybody loved him for no reason.
And then he's just stopped.
Who loves orange?
I do.
Orange soda.
And this is going to sound stupid. One of my favorite shows.
On this podcast, something's stupid.
One of my favorite shows was World of the Psychics.
I don't remember.
It's my second favorite show.
You and I would not have gotten along because I don't know any of these shows that you're...
It's my second favorite show. And now it's your turn to ask me what my first favorite show was.
What's your first favorite show?
Bassmasters.
I'm so sorry.
It's a fishing show.
Really? You learned a lot from that?
Apparently not how to cover your feet.
Fuck you. This is a line from Ghostbusters 2. Jeez, you guys don't know dick for movies.
On a serious note, I think something that I learned a lot from two figures, John Walsh and Robert Stack, both taught me a lot with America's Most Wanted and Unsolved Mysteries.
That goes into mine.
Go.
Rescue 911.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Unsolved Mystery was right after Rescue 911.
Just because it's on the same hour doesn't mean
same thing. Rescue 911 also showed me, it was actually the first show to ever creep me out. That theme song they picked for it with all the different audio clips from actual 911 calls creeped me out, but it also showed me about acting because it was like everything was a reenactment.
Yeah, I know. Right. That's fucked me up, dude. I'm like, you got the guy right there. Get him.
Like, how do you not see it? You fucking filmed it.
Yeah.
But, like, your cops must be really shitty.
But yeah, no, it taught me a lot about like situational awareness, and it's just like, don't just trust anybody. I mean, like, because some of these happen to like kids, and it's like, if you see this guy, you're fucked.
Do you remember did you guys watch Rescue 911 much?
No.
Reno.
But there was one episode where it was the one where the little kid went and fell in the well, and they had to like
get Lassie.
Yes, Lassie. A dog told them that Timmy fell in the well. I don't want to say it was probably like a 2-3-year-old, and they wandered off in their yard, and there was a hole that fell down and it went into a pipe, and it was this big thing. Like they had tons of fire crew and rescue crew out there. And
I think I remember. They
had to dig and cut the pipe without cutting. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he was. Yeah, okay, I remember that.
Kids just down there catching frogs. Could give two shits less.
That'll be my next topic on the You Thought We Forgot or whatever.
Oh, we just reminded them. Right. Now they already know.
I got 2 more on my list.
I got 1 more on my list. Justin's got 30 more.
Yeah, about 30 more.
My 1 more, and I mentioned it once tonight already, but Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah. That kind of goes up there with my Mad TV and all that. It's like just writing little skits and stuff. Me and my best friend used to do like small little stuff here and there.
You can't be talking about SNL of today, though.
No.
That show hasn't been funny in
every once in a while.
12 years.
Every once in a while they have a host who makes it great. But yeah, no, back in the 90s with Chris Rock, Adam Sandler, David Spade,
Chris Farley. It was good when they had like Will Ferrell, Sherry O'Terry, Chris Kattan, Tim Meadows,
Jimmy Fallon.
What? What'd you say?
I like Jimmy Fallon.
That show has been on almost 40 years now. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Man.
And even that decade with like John Belushi,
Chevy Chase,
Dan Aykroyd. Yeah.
My last 2 are comedy ones. The first one is one of my all-time favorite shows, The King of Queens, Kevin James and Leah Remini.
You were an adult.
Okay, I was in 8th grade when that came out.
I'll count it. I'll allow it.
To this day, that show, I still do a lot of Doug Heffernan, like especially at work, because he'll like talk normally, and then all of a sudden when he gets to the punchline, he's like, "If you know what I mean." And he like gets his voice really deep. I do that all the time at work. But the other show that really introduced me to comedy and like actually writing comedy, I don't even know like how to describe this show, but Talk Soup with John Henson on the E.
Yeah.
Those were great because they'd show you clips from TV shows.
One of the guys who was on that was actually from Omaha.
Hal Sparks.
Was it Hal Sparks? I think it was.
John Henson and then Hal Sparks.
He went to Benson High School. I remember my drama teacher telling me, he's like, he used to sit right there.
But nobody compared to John Henson, though. He was the funniest on there. And it was the first time, too, where it's just like he's in front of the camera, but you're hearing all the producers and stuff like that in the background cracking jokes and laughing and stuff. And I'm like, well, this is interesting. And I just remember my buddy and I would watch that show consistently and just laugh our asses off with it.
I think Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles was awesome because it kind of showed me the capabilities of what the human and turtle body can do. So
the cartoon Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. The TV show, the cartoon.
The cartoon was great. No, I just didn't know if there was a live action. I didn't.
There was, but it was probably
the first 3.
That's when they introduced the female Venus.
Yeah,
Ninja Turtle. That was a live action one, but
TV show.
Yeah,
I didn't know they had a live action TV.
It was probably, and for me, it was in high school.
Was it 1 season?
I believe it might have been.
Okay.
They had motorcycles and everything, and
nothing compares though to the live action movies.
But also somebody who kind of taught me.
The first one was so great.
I'm surprised you guys didn't pick. It kind of goes up there with the Bob Ross, but Mr. Rogers and LeVar Burton taught me like a crap load. Just it made me interested in like reading and like reading Rainbow. Fuck, man.
I think reading Rainbow actually taught me more than Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah. We need a reading Rainbow for like adults. That definitely needs to happen.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen. The Boundless PodTrap.
Since music was a huge influence on, I think, all of us, but like pop-up video. I used to wake up early in the morning, watch pop-up video, just getting the facts and the
watching music videos was still a thing.
It's probably that alone that made me very interested in watching behind the scenes or making ofs and just documentaries, because it pretty much, you're getting the real thing with additives and just facts and stuff.
Right.
That, and I have two more. One, Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we used to just go to movies and just riff on the things. And something I wanted to do was do like what did they have? They had a website that was kind of like B-sides. It's a very Mystery Science Theater. You can upload your own.
Is it riff tracks?
Yeah. You just upload your own stuff and then watch a movie and listen to other people's. There was a few people who were on point. They could have, replaced the cast, but.
Well, that's what I want to do with our second podcast, the BPT movie review, is I want to have every now and then our version of Mystery Science Theater where we watch a movie and we're in the bottom corner commenting on it. I think we could have some fun with that.
I think we really could, yeah.
And my number one pick, which I'm surprised nobody said yet, The Simpsons. The Simpsons
I was never a fan of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Especially once Family Guy came out, any little interest I had in The Simpsons went out the window.
Yeah, I think they tried too hard to be funny, and they just missed the mark too many times.
There was a few seasons that were dry.
Yeah.
But when they got back on page, because there was different writers that I want to say was fired or left or something.
Yeah.
They got back on page for a while.
They never grow up. They're the same age.
And they wear the same clothes.
That doesn't bother me as much.
Okay.
I do the same thing.
Well, that's my topic. Did you guys have anything else in that?
No.
That's my topic of who raised you.
Nice.
So who was it?
All of the said people.
Rewind like 45 minutes and you'll probably get it all.
All said people. All right. Wow, that was fun. Got to see who raised us and turned us into the monsters we are. So we are on to our last topic of the night. And you guys, last episode we had John on, and you guys got to wax romantic about your time hanging out together and your past. And
it wasn't romantic. I walked in on the masturbating. That scarred me.
That was all fun and good.
I wish I could have been there.
You were in thought.
But it's like I said earlier during the episode, we actually, the three of us, haven't known each other for very long. Like,
really?
Me and Justin, maybe a year. Me and you, maybe a couple of years.
Yeah. I feel like a dick the first time we did kind of like meet outside of.
Yeah, you super toxic masculinity flexed on me.
I didn't.
You're like,
what happened?
Oh, was that the movie or the game?
Yeah.
Place where you're selling tickets with Logan.
Fuck you, little man. Sit down.
And I had like a lot I wanted to talk with you about, but then like I didn't really interact with Logan that much.
That's not Logan.
Yeah.
That's Lonnie.
Oh, sorry. Lonnie.
He even mentioned he's like, fuck that guy. I didn't even want to talk to Logan.
He's been thinking your name's been Logan this whole time.
He thought you'd know a guy.
So I picked out a game, and normally it's 2 truths and a lie, but what fucking fun is that? I got 2 lies and a truth. And
I hate liars.
Well, it depends on how you pick how good of a liar I am. So I'm going to read 3 statements. 2 of them are fake. 1 of them's real. You guys have to pick the real one. After I read the 3 statements, you each get 2 questions about the 3 statements. You can ask about any of them you want. We'll go round robin. Justin will get one. Jeremy will get one. And then we'll go back through Justin, Jeremy.
Where's Robin?
If there's anything about 4th degree burns on your foot, I got it.
You got that one. Yeah, fuck yeah, you do. You get it right, you get a point. Whoever has the most point is the winner.
Gets to punch the other one.
Gets to rub sweet, sweet ointment on my burnt feet.
Ew.
Not it.
I will chop my hands off before I do that.
Yeah. They hurt real bad.
$20 is $20.
$20 is $20.
I know there's 2 people on the corner that would probably do it for $20.
I'd slather my feet up with that poor woman's tears. All right. So here we go. 2 lies and a truth. Listen up. Then you get your questions. I lost a bet and had to walk between one classroom to the next in high school with my dick out. I got a super hot girl in high school to fuck me who's way out of my league by constantly every day.
You mean intercourse?
Intercourse, okay, sexual intercourse, where I put my thingy in her thingy.
You docked up?
Docked up big time. I got a super hot girl in high school to fuck me who was way out of my league by every day seeing her, telling her that I was way out of her league. My ex-girlfriend's mother fucked the bus driver of Motley Crue and we got backstage passes when they played in Lincoln. Your 2 questions, gentlemen.
I just don't know what kind of questions to ask with this.
Same here. I just want to pick the answer already. Which band member of Motley Crue?
It was not a band member. It was a bus driver.
Oh, bus driver. They drive their own bus. That's out.
What year was this Motley Crue concert?
2005.
How far did you go with your hoo-hoo dilly out of classroom?
I started, if Glenwood's hallway is pretty long, I'd say it's about 100 yards from one class to the end of the class where it turns and makes a left.
I feel like you would have done that.
Probably a good 100 yards.
I feel like you would have done that by yourself, so you wouldn't necessarily need a bet to lose.
I do whip my dick out very often.
You're like, oh.
I mean, it's all bush anyway. No
It's
one
out
would see
again.
it.
Freaking Houdini it.
With the girl out of your league thing.
Yeah.
Did you say when that was? Were you in school?
I was in high school, yeah.
In high school?
All right, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, go for it.
I'm watching the waveform of your voice going up and down here, and judging by my calculations, I'm going to say the true one is the out of your league one.
So I don't think the out of the league one is true. I think that's false. It's between your dick out and the Motley Crue.
Well, if you thought that, you're wrong.
And
I was going to say that is how the other 2 work. Yes.
I think that going on my gut feeling, the dick one, I just think that, like Justin said, I don't think you'd need to have to lose a bet to do that. So I'm going to say the Motley Crue bus driver.
Jeremy is correct.
Oh,
you fucked the bus driver?
So hard.
How was he?
He very flaccid. All right. Next question. The bassist of Reliant K and I threw rocks at people. A midget saved my life. I've never broken a bone before.
And you're only counting in your own body?
Yeah, in my body.
I've broken bones, not necessarily in my body.
I've broke other fools.
If you bite too hard on a chicken wing, it's breaking a bone, right?
Sure.
Okay. I've asked like 2 questions right there.
Yeah.
So this is disqualified Jeremy.
Where did this midget thing take place?
Warped Tour.
Where would Reliant K take place?
What?
Grace University.
My second question, how did they save your life?
They gave me water when I passed out.
Were you
I got my answer.
bound to the floor?
No.
Because it's a... Never mind. Never mind.
Do you have your answer?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that the midget saving your life is bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't think that happened because I don't see you passing out from
I
something
wouldn't
like that.
swerve if you were in front of my car.
And
I
don't feel that you, I don't know. I mean, we don't talk about things like this, but again, I'm gonna go with my gut feeling. I'm gonna say the guitarist and you throwing rocks at cars is the true one.
That's my answer as well.
You're both incorrect. My life was saved by a midget at Warped Tour.
Okay, hold on. Define midget.
He was less than 4 foot tall.
Legally, I thought they expanded that age.
4'10".
It's
4'10" is the legal midget. He was
okay.
He was under. He was like 3'2".
Like, this dude's at least like 3'18".
So I passed out in a concrete parking lot head first. And they were dumping water on me, and some got in my mouth. They rolled me over and were waking me up with water, and I opened my eyes to this glorious midget standing over me with a cup of water. I thought it wasn't my guardian angel, but no, just a midget with a cup of water.
Did you die for a little bit? Your pearly gates?
My guardian,
cherub.
Guardian
did
angel.
He have wings?
No.
And a diaper?
He smelled really bad like the rest of us did.
Probably did his Warped Tour.
All right. Next question. Got kicked out of a music venue for starting a food fight. Got in a fight with the guitar player of Trapped in 2002. Puked in my hat at Ozfest, and a dude put it on.
The dude that put it on, did you know him?
Yes.
The fight that you got in, was it physical, and did you win?
It was headstrong.
No punches were thrown, but we were doing the typical grabbing each other's shirt and throwing each other back and forth.
Not a fight.
Thing.
That's...
They classified it as a fight.
I kind of consider that like...
It's a puss out, yeah. We came to an altercation.
It's like foreplay.
That they classified as a fight.
So the food fight one, what kind of food? This is at a concert, you said?
Yes.
What kind of concert has food. Like,
we brought in chicken sandwiches.
Okay.
that's not enough to start a food fight. Do you have your answer?
Yes.
Okay, you go first this time.
The last one. I don't think you
The
fought
puke and the vom.
Yes.
Okay.
You don't think that?
I think that is.
Oh, you think that is?
That's my pick.
So I don't think that you got in a fight with the
Trap
bass
dude.
player Trap Dude because you would have done jail time for that because he's popular. I don't think I don't think the
popular.
food fight is feasible at a concert. So I'm going with Justin, where you puked in a hat and your friend put it on.
In 2002, Trapped did open for us, their first show. They opened for us in 2002.
Look at this guy.
But we did not get in an altercation. We hugged. That was our altercation. But no, we started a food fight at the Rock, and they asked us to never come back again.
I should have asked the venue because that makes sense because that's the only venue I played at.
We bought a bunch of we had a song called the Chicken Sandwich Song, and we handed them out to everybody while we were there. And when you give a bunch of punks food, they decide to give it back to you. And then they came and gave us brooms, and we said we'll get to it after we load our trailer, and we didn't.
I miss food
That's why
fights.
they're out of business.
We used to have
now.
food fights and stuff in high school, and it's like when everybody would like, or if a fight would have started, it's like I would go around and like steal people's cookies because you had to pay extra for the cookies if you,
You are
weren't on
such
like
a rebel, man.
free or reduced lunch.
Jesus, look
I
at you,
can't
man.
sit next to you anymore.
I'll teach you how.
Okay.
Learn these tips and how.
All right. Next question. When I jerk off, I try to catch baby Lonnies.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Fucked an ex-girlfriend's mom out of spite. Had sex on top of a friend who was passed out.
How old was the friend's mom? And how old were you?
Early 40s, and I was baby 20s, 20, maybe 21. That was the last girlfriend before I got married.
What's the 10 scale on the mom?
She had fake boobs, but
That's not what he asked.
she was pretty broken, so 5.5.
It works for Lonnie.
Not the worst, but pretty low down the list.
What was the first one again? You jerk off and you try to catch.
Yeah, not like jerk into a hand.
Oh, damn it.
But
That was
like,
just gonna be like,
up and try to grab it.
oh, you can't do that. It's like at a water pad, a fun pad, where you try to grab the water.
Like no tip or teen, just straight up in the air and then try to scoop it out of the air.
Was
On the hand and eye coordination.
What was the reason for the revenge?
Because her daughter was a cunt. I fucked her mom out of spite because I was mad at the ex-girlfriend. I fucked her mom because I could.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
the friend that you had sex on top of, was it a guy or a girl?
Guy.
You had sex with a guy?
No, I had sex with a girl on top of a guy. So technically it was a fucked up threesome, more or less.
I got my answer. I'll go first this time.
Go.
I don't think the first one of you jerking off and catching it is true, because why would you do that?
I feel like you might have.
And you have to have quite a bit of power for it to go that high up to grab it.
It's when your body is at its weakest.
I don't.
And then if you can.
I don't. I mean, this is the point of this game, but I feel I know you enough that I don't think that you would fuck an ex's mom out of spite. So I'm going with the last one, that you had sex on top of a friend.
I would say the same thing, because I think you would have like that, you know, the last episode of the Hulk where he's walking away, like.
Totally fucked her. Totally fucked my ex's mom.
Can we get names?
No.
Do they listen?
No.
Dude, you already.
Absolutely not. I'll tell you when we're not on air.
Okay. I probably don't even know them.
Oh, I'm probably not, no. But that was the thing that happened. I was very proud of it.
So we're halfway through.
And you each have a point.
I know.
Oh, no, you have a point. Justin has 0 points. This is how our games go. Like, you guys don't get very many points. But, okay.
We don't know you.
Right.
I always go golf rules. Lowest score wins.
I joked my way into becoming voted for homecoming king. I've studied 4 different religions, and my very first car was a Ford Camaro.
Okay. Well, I think we have this narrowed down to 2.
Yeah, I think so.
What are the 4 religions?
Christianity, Judaism, the Torah, and Satanism. I read the Satanic Bible.
What are the main points of Judaism?
That Jesus wasn't an actual dude. He was just a carpenter. And you get 8 crazy nights rather than 1 Christmas. That's pretty much the difference between Christianity and Judaism. King Solomon is more important than Jesus.
All right, I'm good.
You said homecoming king?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old were you?
It was my senior year.
Oh, he can't put an age to it.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the religions.
That's the real?
As the real one.
I'm going to go with
the pig.
The first one. I'm going to go with Lonnie doing the homecoming king thing.
Yeah, it started as a joke. I told one person, like, you should vote for me for homecoming king, and it spread like a fucking wildfire. We didn't have many seniors in our class, but that shit spread through us, and it spread through the juniors and the sophomores and the freshmen.
Did you win?
No.
Oh.
I was 3 votes away from winning, but I was elected, and it was a fucking firestorm. So Jeremy takes the lead with 2 points to 1.
See, I would have thought the religion thing, but when I asked him the 4 ones, he kind of was stuttering there.
Well, he knew he was forgetting the one that
I've studied so many, like so many more than just 4. I was like, well,
it counts.
4 are the most believable. Okay, next question. I got charged $1,078 for a piece of pizza. I used to do coke in school to stay up to study for tests. Used to stay up every Friday and Saturday night, all night, talking to friends on the telephone.
When you say you did coke.
Cocaine.
Okay.
That was my question. Because I thought he was.
Is it
Coca-Cola? The caffeine kept me up.
Not the song cocaine?
No, like the powder that came in little bags that year.
How much was the cocaine?
Oh, it was dirt. It was garbage.
Street price.
It was cocaine you got from a farmer, so you can tell it was good quality.
This isn't my question, but can you repeat the 3 of them again, please?
Sure. Got charged $1,078 for a piece of pizza. Used to do coke to stay up for tests, and used to stay up all Friday and Saturday nights talking on the phone.
I'm going to go ahead and say the pizza. Everybody used to talk to their friends throughout, that. I don't think you did cocaine, because as far as I know, I thought you've been pretty much straight edge most all your life as well. I would say that you did get charged, but you probably never paid it.
That's it. My pick is the pizza one too, because it's like you said you got charged for it, but you didn't necessarily pay it.
Yeah, I didn't pay that shit at all. So it was at CC's Pizza. We got
that's good pizza. That's a good pie.
They charged us the buffet, but for some reason the bank overdrew us, and then just started charging us late fees, and we didn't know about it until we got our bank statement, and that CC's meal costed us $1,078.
It's a little hiccup, and you had to pay the bounces and all that.
Yeah, we told them to go fuck themselves.
As you would.
And we paid it many, many, many years later. All right. Next one. I hate pornography. I just hate it. I learned to skate before I learned to walk, and my first ever concert was 9 Inch Nails and Tool.
When you say skate, you mean like blade skate?
Ice skate.
All right. So not necessarily like cheap skate.
No.
Like you're just sucking off of your mom's teeth.
I've been doing that for 36 years.
And how?
What year was that concert?
2000?
Okay.
Nope. Because Trent Reznor took a little break to do the online, and they never did.
I'm going to ask my second question now.
Okay.
How old were you when you went to that concert?
2000. I think I would have been 13, 14. I know I played shows before I went to shows.
It was at the Rock.
It was not at the Rock.
And they threw chicken nuggets.
We threw dicks,
sandwiches.
just like straight dicks.
Wait, what was the first one?
Learning how to skate before walking.
That was the second one. What was the second one? Was that the concert?
The first one's I hate porn.
Oh, you hate porn.
I just hate it.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
None of us have touched that one because we know that's bullshit.
Well, I mean, like,
I hate what it does to me.
some people, yeah,
It just
that's what I'm
makes me
saying.
feel yucky.
I mean, like, you can probably
I don't control this thing. It controls me.
use it, but it has kind of like a power over you, so you kind of hate it. It's like, I hate
big titties and ass shaking. I just hate it.
He loves it because it's what makes him come and catch it in midair.
Yeah. Gotcha. And you open up the look and you're like, damn it, missed it again.
Where is it? Where did it go?
Did you ask your question?
I was asking my question as I was explaining my base.
So my pick for this one, that's I don't buy the whole you hate porn. Get out of here.
It's more of an expression.
You can see through that one, huh?
The 9 Inch Nails and Tool one. I just feel that you were 13 was too young to go to a show like that. but at the same time, I'm going to go with the concert.
Okay.
I am going to go with the ice skating because those are some heavy ass boots. And if you're saying that you've learned to like proficiently skate, I don't think that's.
But it's
So
you're picking what's real.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's right. So I don't think that's it. Fuck, I guess I would have to go to the same thing. The concert, because I mean, like, I think that sometimes you might hate porn or like the
when has he given you that?
After he's finished, it's like, oh, what am I doing?
I gotta delete my browser history now.
Shame.
90% of the scenarios he's put up here have been sexual.
It's because he's involved. He's not involved with porn.
Yeah.
Well, he is on the other side of the screen, but let's go with the concert.
It was in fact the concert. It was my first show I went to. It was at not CenturyLink Center. Civic Auditorium. Yeah.
Wait, that was the pick. We got it.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, cool.
4-2.
My very first concert was
4-2.
Sesame Street at the Civic Auditorium.
Nice.
What do you think my very first concert was?
Hannah Montana. No.
Close. It's not far off, honestly. I got free tickets to it, so that's why.
Reba McEntire.
Shania Twain.
Actually a lot closer.
Shania Twain.
Yep.
Nice.
Shania Twain. I had a huge crush on her after that.
All right, next one.
You don't impress her much.
Man, I feel like a woman.
My first acting job I ever had was in high school. I got dance lessons from Mr. Gay America. He won in 2019. I have more than one child that I know about.
Who's the name of Mr. Gay America?
Matthew Steele.
That's
He's not Mr. Gay America now, but he was in 2019.
I can verify this?
Yeah, I think so. It's around 2019. Right. He was Tracy's Zumba instructor.
When you say acting, do you mean like...
I got credited for a role.
Okay, not necessarily like acting hall pass monitor.
No.
Right.
Who is it that you possibly have another child with?
It is a woman from Crete, Nebraska.
Did you bang her mom?
I did not bang. I did not bang her mom.
That would have come full circle.
I am going to say the acting job.
The acting job.
The one that makes sense to me would be the dance, Mr. Gay America dance thing, but I knew you back in 2019.
Yeah.
And I don't remember you ever saying anything about dance classes, and I don't think you would take dance classes.
Judging by your stride, I don't think you have that rhythm.
Well, right now I'm crawling everywhere because I can't stand up, but...
Well, I think I hate doing this because it's just, the only one that makes sense to me is the acting.
Acting. Justin, you're with acting as well?
Yep.
You're both incorrect.
Yes.
I have...
It is Gay America?
At least 2 children that I know of.
Do you really?
Yeah.
How come you've kept it a secret?
Yeah. I've told you guys before.
Am I one of them?
Yeah.
Didn't. You meant to tell us.
You are my child. I went back in time and had sex with your mom.
So you know for sure you have 2 children?
Yeah.
One of them is Moxley.
One of them is Moxley, yes. Who's Moxley?
I feel like I didn't know this. I feel hurt.
That freeloader who lives at my house?
I can't forgive you.
Yeah.
All right. I won a skateboard event at Septemberfest when I was 13. I've been to all real locations that Stephen King has filmed movies at, and I have an amateur MMA record of 3-1.
How many locations is the Stephen King?
7.
Who were your opponents?
Fuck if I know. It was at a bar called Vucare.
What was the first one again? I'm sorry.
I won a skateboarding event at Septemberfest when I was 13.
What is the event?
Septemberfest?
Septemberfest, a skateboarding event.
No, Septemberfest was like, it's like Oktoberfest. It's like a big beer fest, but Septemberfest was like a carnival as well.
I guess I meant like, what was the event, the skateboarding event that you won? Was it?
Oh, it was like a street event where they had a couple boxes and a rail and like a half pipe, or not a half pipe, but a quarter pipe.
I'm going to go ahead and do the, because your feet, so the skateboarding. Dude, I can't retain anything right now. So skateboarding? MMA. I don't think you did the MMA.
And the Stephen King real locations.
I feel like you would have pursued Stephen King locations. You said all?
All of them.
Yeah, I don't think that happened. I will say, fuck, dude. I mean, you hung with the crowd that were probably like skateboarding. Were you? I can't recall if you've ever said, I'm going to go with the skateboarding event because it was probably just you.
Okay.
I feel that this might be the most confident answer I have. And I'm sorry if I'm off, but I think the real one is the MMA.
Jeremy is correct.
Oh, yeah, you were kind of a spaxel.
Yeah,
I remember you saying something.
I seen it on TV, and my brother was a professional fighter, so I'm like, I can do this, and I did it at an amateur level. And there's video. There used to be a video of me on YouTube getting my ass kicked, but
I want to see that.
Hopefully by this point it's down.
We'll attach that to the
let's
podcast.
One more? Are we on the last one, or we got 2 more?
I got 1, 2, 3, 4 left.
Jesus, there's no.
They grew?
You said 10, right?
I said 10-ish.
Oh,
I was going to cut some if they looked stupid, but okay.
They look good.
I gave my friend Roxy a Special Olympics medal as a gift. I've played a show in 4 different countries. Every time I've seen the band Disturbed in concert, I've broken a bone.
In your body?
In my body.
Okay. I'm just going to give my answer and say it's Disturbed.
Would be stupid.
No, it wouldn't be, because I feel like he's said something about that before. So I'm kind of cheating.
He hasn't broken a bone in the last...
In his body. He got a suntan and his bone broke.
I feel like that's a trick question, because I swear that the other one, he said, one of them was he never broke a... Oh, no, that was a not true one. Never mind. Okay.
Oh, throwbacks.
Okay, so you gave a Special Olympics medal
to Roxy.
To my friend Roxy, yeah.
Does she have a boyfriend named Percy, otherwise known as Grunge? Percival?
No, she has a husband named James.
Okay.
What was the second one?
Because I don't think you would have been able to get...
I've played a show in 4 different countries.
What countries?
United States, Canada, Brazil, and Australia.
I got my answer. I'm going to go with the concert.
I'm going to go
playing in the 4 different countries.
I'm going to go with Disturbed still.
So Roxy is probably my best friend outside of people at this table that I've ever met. And when we would meet each other when we would be on tour, and we'd meet, and we had this crazy habit of giving each other gifts.
You got a legitimate Special Olympics medal.
My grandpa and me were garage sailing, and they had like the bucket of trinket stuff. And in that trinket box, there was a Special Olympics medal. And I'm like, I absolutely have to give this to her, because we'd exchange weird gifts.
That's fucked up. That's called stolen valor.
And I had to one up her, because she gave me like the bottom half of a prosthetic arm, and I had to one up that. And I did with the Special Olympics.
Weird friendship with Roxy.
You like one down that.
No, I fucking knocked that one out of the park. Next one.
Go ahead and give me a point.
Neither of you got a point.
Well, just give me a point.
No, I could give you a point. You'd still be losing bad. I rode a bull twice in one night. My first tattoo was my tramp stamp. I lost my virginity in a porta potty.
What was the first one? You rolled a bull?
I rode a bull twice in one night.
Rode a bull.
Rode a bull.
You mean rolled? Like rolled a bull?
Rode.
Okay, rode. Can you just write it down?
Where was this porta potty at?
It was in the Arts Festival in the Old Market.
You and Tracy. She's the only person you've ever been with.
Oh. Yes, if she listens to this podcast.
Well,
which she never would.
If she listens to this podcast, because you just revealed you have a second child.
It's her.
How old were you when you lost the virginity in the porta potty?
So I would have been 15. I was a sophomore.
Was it a
dude? No.
Damn it. Okay. In your body?
No.
Virginia. Okay. It was an actual bull or electric bull?
An actual bull.
Was it by choice, or were you?
Kind of by choice. I was talking a lot of shit. My brother Joey was a bull rider, and he really sucked at it. I was giving him shit that it was so easy. So
he used to fight bulls.
They put me on one, and it fell over on me. And then my dad screamed, no, that doesn't count. Put him on it again. And they put me on it again, and it stepped on my leg. Okay. I had to hobble to the fence when it bucked me off. I think collectively I rode it for like 2.5 seconds.
As one would.
Mm-hmm. What's your pick?
Lonnie's a dirty man. Okay. I'm going to go with the porta potty thing.
That's what my pick was.
Yeah, it wasn't our first time having sex in the porta potty. I did have sex in a porta potty, but I did not lose my virginity in a porta potty.
He's like, that's just where you go to have sex. It's a porta potty.
Yeah, I met our schools went to the porta potty, or went to the arts festival, and I met a girl from a different school.
Then
we just met, and we bumped uglies. It was the first day, so the porta potty was at least clean. That was a plus. Okay,
So she birthed your child from a porta potty? She had a porta potty baby?
Yeah, porta potty baby. And I found it there 16 years later.
In her body? All right, go ahead.
All right. First date with Tracy. We went to Illinois to go bowling in a snowstorm. I'm allergic to cats. Once had a 3-way with 2 sisters.
Get the fuck out.
When you say 3-way, you mean on the phone?
Is that your question?
Yes.
No.
I feel like if he had a 3-way with 2 girls, we would have heard about it more. What was the second one?
I'm allergic to cats.
As in like the movie?
Well, I've never seen the movie Cats. I could hate it.
I'm not even asking questions. I think I'm pretty confident on this answer too.
I feel like you told me about like the first date with Tracy and it wasn't that. I thought it was a concert. So I'm going to go ahead and say 3-way. Or sorry, no, the cats.
I think it's the first date. Really? Why? I remember something about you and Tracy in a snowstorm.
It happened, but it wasn't our first date.
Okay.
First date was a concert, right?
No, our first date we went and seen Chicken Little.
Oh my, that's so sad.
I had a 3-way with 2 sisters. Well, not sisters.
But they...
Sisters.
Sisters? Okay.
When was this?
2005.
I feel like every time I ask you when was this, you say 2005.
Yeah.
That's your program.
A lot of shit happened
I wasn't
in 2005.
married yet.
You had a fight back then? 2 fights?
What was it like?
I have enough problems satisfying 1 woman, let alone 2.
Most of the time it was just them handling themselves.
Yeah. It was, all right, I'm tired. They're like, yeah, go over there.
Hopped up on coke.
It was a lot.
Go over there. We'll get ourselves.
It was a lot of watching.
All right.
Did they know you were part of this threesome?
Eventually, when I was grunting a lot, sweating on
Who
them.
is that?
Like, God, it's leaking again. I'm sorry. I just had a ham sandwich.
Why is he limping? He always seems to be hurting his legs or feet.
His feet are really gross. I'm sorry, it's a sunburns. We gotta keep rolling. Well, that was a fun night, boys.
What was the final score of that?
Oh, you dominated. I stopped keeping score.
That's because Justin
Came back,
only uses you for sex. He doesn't listen to anything you say.
He doesn't respect me.
Not your words.
He just wants me for my body.
Oh,
Yeah.
yuck.
I don't know what to
Your
say to that.
standards are really, really low, Justin.
Well, fellas, I had a fun night tonight.
Oh my God.
Is he really crying?
I don't know.
Well, I don't really just use you for your body. I use you for other things.
You don't even go to book club with me anymore.
That's because they kicked him out because he went on and on and on and on.
Cashed on about the...
He just read the book to him again.
Got my pizza.
found
Book
out-
reviews? That's what we're going to start.
They
We're gonna
found
do
out I couldn't
book
read.
reviews.
They kicked
book
me out of
reviews
the
every
book club.
Wednesday.
If we do book reviews, I'm just letting you guys know now I'm done.
We'd have to do chapter reviews.
I am
Like this month, we read chapter 1.
Sound it out. Use your words. Just use your finger on the page and follow through.
All right, everybody. That was episode 27?
26.
No.
Yes.
26.
26.
26?
Yeah, man.
You're overzealous.
You got to stay with us.
Oh,
He's still in that threesome. He just added another one to the... That didn't make any sense.
yeah, I didn't.
His eyes are still rolled back.
Oh my God,
Anyway.
they really are. That was
They are.
creepy.
Anyway, thank
And
you.
his body.
Thank you so much for listening to the Boundless PodTrap. We'll see you next week.
Hey, we're
Please.
going to be doing the BPT movie review next week.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a special guest. Who is it, Justin?
It's my best friend. He's my best friend. It's JJ Johnson. We're gonna be covering the movie V for Vendetta.
Check out our Facebook, www.facebook.com/theboundlesspodtrap. Also check out Zazzle
knew it.
for all your sweet BPT merch you should wear. And if we see you wearing it, we'll give you some sweet, sweet, sweet fan appreciation.
I did get a notification saying that fans of the BPT are visiting our shop. So.
Goddamn right, because I plugged the shit out of it.
All right, well, thanks for listening.
Zazzle.com.
Bye.
Check out the link tree.
Linktree. Zazzle.com.
All right, shut up so I can play the outro.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Join us next time for more absurdity that only the guys from the Boundless PodTrap can bring you.